Alright, like I said, now I'll be able to solve these questions effectively. So I'll do them fast. It's just a matter of revising. We all know the concept, so it's just about reminding each other, right? Alright, so this is where now we'll do let us proceed. We start with the first one. Okay, so we have a question here. Rationalize the denominator of each of the following. Okay, so want to do of each of the following, and we have how many of them? We have how many of them? We have 1 there, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. There are 5 of them. Okay, alright. Okay, I'm just testing something. So there are 5 of them. So we start with the first one. How do we rationalize, say, the denominator? So the denominator, when you say rationalize, we are interested where there is the conjugate pi or I, or where there is a root. So the issue is we are interested in eliminating the root. Alright, so the first one is given as, alright, so 2 okay, root 3 minus root 2, like that, over 4 root 3, like that. Okay, so how do we handle this? Alright, so what we are going to do is, first we are rationalizing the denominator, so we multiply this one by root 2. For here we don't change any sign, okay, it's just a matter of multiplying by root 2. So we'll write this in the bracket, 3 minus root 2 in the bracket, like that. They are being multiplied by what we are interested, which is the 3 root 3. So multiply times root 3, like that. Okay, over the same 4. Remember we said we multiply times the same root 3. Okay, so you can't multiply, you can't use this 4 there, which is there. So use the root thing, or where there is an I, of which you know. So from there then we multiply, so that will give us, we can multiply now on top there. We are getting, you multiply 3 times that, 3 inside there, so say 2 times 3 times root 3. So that will give us 2 times, that is 9 root of 9, that is 3. So it will give us what? 6. So multiplying this 3 times that, a lot of this, the whole of this, that will give us what? That will give us 6. Okay, so let me do it step by step in case you can't see. So 3 there times root 3 again, okay, minus 3 times that, that will just give us 6 inside, because the 2 and the 3 will multiply, the 2 and the 3 will multiply there. Okay, then over, alright, so that is root 3 times root 3, that is root 9, that is 3. So that will give us 3 times 4, that will give us 12. Alright, so we proceed by saying that is 9 times 3, root 3 times root 3, that is 3 again, so that will give us 6 minus root of 6 over, alright, over what? 12. So this marks the end of this question. That's how you can solve that question. Okay, hope that is clear. So if you can pause the video and try the second one. I've rubbed, you can pause if I was very fast on that. Alright, so we go to the second one. Okay, so we have x over x plus root of y, right? How do we do this one? So here we need the conjugate. Okay, so if you have a plus b, okay, the conjugate of this one will be a minus b, okay, which will result into a squared minus b squared, like that. This is the rule that we'll be using. We all know this identity. Okay, so from there we'll say that is, we are multiplying by its conjugate. Remember, we're dealing with the denominator, so I'll say x over, alright, we have x plus root y, right? Then we multiply times what? Times x minus root y. Okay, so the same thing, we say x minus root y. Okay, so you see this is just 1, there's nothing we have changed. You divide that, you get 1, and the question will still remain the same. So the mathematics we are trying to do here is just nothing, like, don't have to get confused really. So what we do here, from here, then this is different of 2 square, like I said. Down there we'll have the different of 2 square, which I said like that. So then on top there we just multiply x times x, alright, minus root of y. Okay, so that is it. Then from there, difference of 2 square, so you just get on the part where there is a negative, so you square everything. So squared, then minus root of what, y, also there we square like that. Okay, so from there we'll get this x times that is x squared, right? If I want to multiply, or I can just leave it like that. I think it will look nice, smart. So you say x minus root of y, okay, then over there we'll have just x squared minus, there we'll just cancel the half there, times 2, so that will remain with y. So this actually is the answer. There is nothing much apart from that. Okay, so that's how you can handle that question. Hope that is clear. I think I can add because I don't have a space. If you are copying, you pause the video, then you'll be able to see what is happening. Okay, alright, so from there then we go to question 3. So we have x minus, alright, root of what, x squared minus 9, then over, alright, again we have x plus root of x minus 9. You have seen this is just the conjugate of this one, and also the denominator is the conjugate of the numerator. So since the question says multiply the denominator, so we'll take it in that manner. Alright, so what we are going to do is, we'll say we are interested in the denominator, right? So we'll say x minus root of x squared minus 9, alright, this is the numerator. So I'll multiply this numerator times the denominator conjugate, right? Remember we have x plus root of x minus 9 as the denominator. So we'll say x again plus root of x minus 9, then still the same thing. I'm sorry, we have to do the conjugate there. Okay, so we are doing the conjugate there. It will be now minus root of x minus 9. Okay, we have just changed the sign there, so we do the same on top there. So say x, it was plus by the way, so now it's minus root of x minus 9, like that. Okay, so from there then we'll say we have two things here, okay, multiplying, and they are making different of 2 square each. So what I'm going to do is, here they are not making difference of 2 square because the signs are the same, alright, okay, but down there we have difference of 2 square. We can see this rule is being obeyed there. So what I'm going to do is, I'll say I'll multiply these two, okay, I'll multiply these two on top there, I will just write them as x minus root, okay, because they are the same, x. By the way, it is squared here. I wasn't just saying it properly. It's squared everywhere. No, it's squared inside there. I think using a red pen is confusing me. Let me just use a white pen. Alright. So I think using a white pen is better. So it's squared there. Like inside is squared there. So what I'm going to do is I'll say x. I'm just writing what is on top. Root of x squared minus 9. Okay. Then because they are the same, I'll just square them like that. Then down there I have difference of two squares, so I'll say x, I'll get this part, so I'll say x squared, okay, minus, you just square them like that. Then that one, if I'm putting, I am to put in the root, then the root will be cancelled because it will be squared, so you just remain with x squared minus 9 like that. Okay, so that's what will remain with once we square these roots. So that is it. Hope that is clear. Then from there we can now distribute this negative before I work out what is on top. Okay, before I work out what is on top, because what is on top, it will give me something like quadratic. Okay, so let me just do it. What is on top, first let me start with what is down. So what is down, we have x squared minus, open bracket, x squared minus 9. So we say x squared, this negative to be negative x squared, then plus 9 like that. So these, they will cancel, so we'll just remain with 9. So the denominator will be just 9 like that. Okay, so that is it. Then from there I'll work out what is on top there. So working out what is on top, we have x minus root of x squared minus 9. Okay, again multiplying itself, x minus root of x squared minus 9 like that. X times x is x squared. Okay, x times that will be minus, alright, minus x root of x squared minus 9 like that. Again, this one times x is 2, again negative x, alright, squared minus 9. Then again this thing times that will be just negative. It will be now positive, negative and negative. This one, when this multiplies, then the roots will just cancel, so you just get that thing. Okay, squared plus 9 minus 9, I mean minus 9. Okay, so this means that we have x squared. Okay, this, when we add these two, we are getting negative 2x, then root x squared minus 9 like that, then plus, we have x squared there, then minus 9 like that. Okay, so you can see x squared and x squared, they are giving us 2x. Okay, so x squared and x squared, we are getting 2x squared. Then we have negative 9 there. Alright, this negative 9, this and this we have simplified, so we are remaining with negative 2x root of x squared minus 9. So this is the answer that we need to put there. So on top we have 2x squared minus 9, okay, minus 2x root of x squared minus 9. So this is the answer. This is the answer that we have, over 9. So this marks the answer. Alright, so that is it. Hope that is clear, because I'm just doing this like it's part of revision. You are not here to struggle, no. Alright. Alright, so that is it. We are done with also this one. We are going to question 5 now. Question 5, that was question 4. This is 1, 2, 3. Okay, question 4. Okay, so we have 1 over root of 2 plus 1 open bracket like that. This is somehow complex. Root 3 then minus 1 like that. Okay, that is it. So you need to obey this. Okay, so rationalizing the denominator, what you are going to do is we'll say we have 1 there, right? 1 there, then we have we need to multiply this. Okay, so we need to also to rationalize this and also rationalize this, so we do the conjugate of each. Remember, whenever you see this, do the conjugate. So here what I'm going to do is I'll say root of 2 plus 1, I'll do the conjugate of this, that will be root of 2 minus 1. Okay, also the conjugate of this root 3 minus 1, I'll do the conjugate as well, root 3 minus 1. This is what you need to do there, otherwise you'll be in trouble. Then from there, the same thing that I've done on top is the same thing that I'll need to do on top there. Okay, the same thing that I'm going to do. So on top, I'll just bring the way it was. Okay, the conjugate of this one, the conjugate of this one, I'll write to say 2 root 2 minus 1. Again, the conjugate of this one, it will be root 3 plus 1. So I've just brought their conjugates on top. Then I'm also simplifying down there. That's how you should do. Please, is that clear? Always do this whenever you meet like this. This question is somewhat complicated, but when you do them, just you try to multiply, it will put you in trouble. So this is what you should do. Get what I'm saying? Otherwise you'll be in trouble. So on top there we'll have root 2. By the way, let me do this. That is just a long root 2. Okay, then we're multiplying this everything on top throughout by 1. That will just give us the same thing. Alright, then down there we have, now this is difference of 2 square, just these two, there is a difference of 2 square, where I will say root 2 squared then minus 1 squared. Okay, again for this one there's a difference of 2 square, so say root 3 squared minus, by the way there's a plus there, I've just made a mistake, the conjugate, then we have 1, the difference of 2 square like that. Okay, on top will still remain the same, so what I'm going to do on top is I'll say root 2 minus 1 open bracket, these are just conjugate, root 3 plus 1. Okay, then down there we have the root will cancel there, so that will just remain with 2, then there it will be minus 1. Okay, then again we cancel the root there, that will be just 3, then minus 1 again. Don't include this negative please, it's just for 1 there. Okay, so that is it. 1 squared is just 1. Then from there we do the same. We have root 2 minus 1, the way the question is root 3 plus 1. So there, what is 2 minus 1? What is 2 minus 1? That will give us 1. Again times 2, so that will just give us 2 down there as the denominator. So this marks the end of the question. So that's how you should conjugate like that. Alright, so you can pause the video in case you are not clear of what, because like this is the only space I have, so I can't wait for you to copy. Alright, that is it. So that's how you rationalize. So if I'm doing it very fast, better you do what? You pause the video and you'll be able to see what is needed. Okay, so that is it. So coming to the last question now, we have 5 3 root 2 and root 3 like that, I mean. So how do we handle this then? We do the conjugate again, so say 5 over 3 minus 2 like that, root 3 like that. So we do the conjugate. This is very simple. So say 3 plus 2, alright, plus 2 root 3 like that. Okay, so the same thing we do it also on top. This is the conjugate, so say 3 plus root 3 like that. Okay, so that will multiply, that will still give us 5 open bracket. If we don't want to distribute, that will be 3 plus 2 root 3 like that. Okay, then down there we have the difference of 2 square. Now this is now where we apply. We get this one as 3 squared, okay, then minus everything is squared also. We just get the part where there's a square like that, so that will still remain the same. So have 3 plus root 3, then down there we have, that will be 9, okay, then minus there will be squared 4, that will be 4, 2 squared, that was that, then 3 there. Okay, so that will be 12 minus that. So this will give us 5 open bracket 3 plus 2 root 3 like that, then over 9 times 9 minus 12, that will give us negative 3. So this is how you should solve this one. So we are done with the denominator. That's how you can do the denominators. Okay, so now we go to something else, numerators, but make sure that you copy this. Thank you. So the first question that we have is, I'll use a black pen. The first question that we have here is, I'll use the black pen here. So we have 5 root 5 plus h, okay, then minus 3. We are rationalizing the numerator, so we have h down there. So how do we approach this? So we're going to say we will rationalize we'll do the conjugate of the numerator. So what I'm going to do is, I'll say 3, okay, that is 5, not 3, so that is 5, by the way, 5 plus h, okay, minus 3. So when you do the conjugate, we'll have root 5 plus h, then plus 3 like that. So this is the conjugate. Then down there we have h open bracket, then the same conjugate that we did, we are bringing it here, so that will be root 5 plus h. Alright, so plus 3 on top there. This is the conjugate, so it will obey that rule I showed you to say a minus b, then that will be a plus b. If we have this form, then it's just equal as a squared minus b like that, squared. So that's how we'll approach this one. So we'll say that will be you square that and you square that, that will give us just 5 plus h, because the square will be removed, right, looking at this row. So the first one will square and the root will be squared, so we're getting only where there's a negative part, then minus the 3 squared also, that will give us 9. Alright, so what I've done, I've just done this from this, that is what I have on top there. So I've done this, then over, we have h open bracket root of 5 plus h, like that, then plus 3. Okay, so on top there I'm getting that will be just 5, the root will be cancelled by the square, then we have h minus, that will be 9. Okay, then that will be let me just summarize this one. So that will be 5 minus 9, that will be negative 4, or h plus negative 4. Let me just do this. So say there is h there, then minus 4 over the answer now which we have there, open brackets, 5h, 5 plus h, then plus 3. Okay, then that is it. So this is the answer you needed. You say h minus 4, then h, open bracket, then we have root of 5 plus h plus 3. That's what you needed to actually get it correct. So you needed to do all these steps, otherwise it's very easy, provided you master what is supposed to be done. Okay, so that is it. We are done with the first one. So let's go to the second question. So here what we are going to do is we'll say this is root 3 plus root 5, okay, over 7, like that. So how do we do this? Remember, we're doing the denominator, I mean the numerator. So I'll do the conjugate. So say 3 plus 5 root 5. We'll do the conjugate again, 3 minus root 5, like that. This is the conjugate. Then over the conjugate now multiply with the denominator. So the conjugate is 3 root 3 minus root 5. Okay, so on top there's a difference of 2 squares, so we'll obey that. So we'll say, we'll just get this part where there's a negative there, that's where we'll get. So we'll say root 3 squared, that would be just 3, then minus again root 5 squared, that would be just what, 5, then over we have 7. Then we can't do anything there, it's better we just leave it. If you want you can distribute, but for me I'll just leave it like that, minus root 5, like that. So if you want you distribute, but we can still summarize. What is 3 minus 5? That would be negative 2. Negative 2 over 7, open bracket, root 3 minus root 5. So this is the answer that you needed. So that is it. You can pause the video and see how we have solved this one, then try on your own. Alright, try on your own. So let me just lab. This question says rationalize the numerator. So we will rationalize the numerator by multiplying it by its conjugate. Okay, so we'll say root x squared plus 1, okay, minus x. Okay, so once we multiply by its conjugate, so the conjugate of this one, it will be root x squared minus plus, so say plus, this is just inside, plus 1, then plus x, like that. So this is the conjugate. The same conjugate, we multiply it down like that, x squared plus 1, then plus x, like that. Okay, there's nothing we have changed there. So you can see again we obey the difference of 2 square there on top. Okay, so that will give us it will eliminate just the square of this one, the first one, so that will be x squared plus 1, okay, minus this x now will be x squared, okay, then over we have root x plus 1, then plus x, like that, okay. Then from there we can see this one and this is cancelling, so we have 1 over root x plus 1, then plus x, like that. So this actually marks the end of this question. So this is what you needed to have to write. So you can do more. Please make sure that you try on your own. You pause the video, then try on your own. So that's the best way to actually catch up with rationalizing the denominator and the numerator. Otherwise, that's all. If you're able to solve this, then you are okay with your test 1. So that is it. Next in a situation whereby we do for conjugate I, then you will be able to polish up the topic and the concepts.